Alrighty, so we're back. This is part two of our linear relationships. So we've already established that when we're looking between the term number and number of tiles, if I were to multiply our term number by 4, a constant, I would get the same number of white tiles. So let's try it again with our second term number. So again, if we were to still apply the same rule, 2 times 4 equals 8. So moving forward, 3 times 4 equals 12. So by now we're kind of seeing that there's also, besides a pattern that is going downwards, there's also a relationship between the term number and this number of white tiles. So just for fun, let's check, because we know that the 10th term number, if we were to multiply that by 4, that would give us 40. So looking back on this then, if I'm going to continue on this relationship, I know that if I had a 100th term number and I was going to multiply that by 4, I would have 400 white tiles. So by being able to identify a pattern rule going downwards, I'm able to calculate the number of white tiles. However, being able to determine an algebraic expression, which is this relationship between the term number and number of white tiles, I am then able to determine the number of white tiles for the 100th term. So I could have a look at our strategy for working out how many white tiles are in any term. So let's write down those two things. So we know that by identifying a pattern rule, which again is that pattern that is going downwards from the number of white tiles. By identifying a pattern rule, you are identifying a linear pattern. So we'll keep that here. However, developing that relationship, so that algebraic expression. So I'm going to put in brackets the relationship between the term number and number of white tiles. I can figure out a term number that is much larger than if I were to just be continuing that pattern rule. So the algebraic expression, so the relationship between the term number and the number of white tiles. So if we were to say, we could even use a variable. So if we were to say, so term number, so if we were to say n times 4, that's going to be able to show us a result when we have a much larger term number. So our big takeaway from this grade 7s is that if you're looking at a table of values, something like this, our pattern rule is what is going downwards. And what our algebraic expression is, it's the relationship between the term number and our number of values. In this case, it's a number of white tiles.